So the very beginning, Perek Yudches Posuk Aleph. Perek Yudches Posuk Aleph. So just a few short things at the beginning that the Ramban highlights, which I think, if you consider them carefully, have some very important messages. So when I'm not starting from the very beginning, but the Ramban is because a very, very long piece at the beginning of the Ramban. I'm not doing all of that. Actually, the second part. So where it says L'Moshe Yisrael Amoy, because I think this Ramban, the first bit, is talking about where the placing of the parasha, which is a very famous debate as to where exactly this parasha belongs. Exactly right. But he says L'Moshe Yisrael Amoy, to Moshe and Yisrael's people. Those when Yisro comes along and says, and he hears everything that Hashem has done, and the Ramban is interested in the singling out of Moshe Rabbeinu. Yisro is saying it's incredible what's happened. To who? The Bnei Yisrael. So why does he say L'Moshe Uli Yisrael Amoy? To Moshe and to his people Yisrael. Ramban says, "Haneflos sha'asu Moshe, the wonders that he did to Moshe, sha'asu imay chesed v'tova, he did with him kindness and goodness. She'yovei al Paro tomid, he's able to come to Paro always. V'lu yifchad mimenu, and not be afraid of him. V'yovei alova amakos, and bring upon him all of the plagues that occurred. Ashiyotzum mitzrayim till he went out Mitzrayim. Hu v'ha'om imoy, he and the people with him. Hu kamelech aleihem, he was like a king over them." So in other words, according to the first explanation of the Ramban, there were specific wonders, there were specific remarkable things that transpired with Moshe Rabbeinu himself. His ability to enter in front of Paro, to leave, and everything else that he went on with, and his ending up as a king over the Jewish people. On account of Moshe and Yisrael. Batam ala makos. Utvias Paro, and it's going on the Makos and the sinking of Paro in the sea. According to the second explanation of the Rambam, he's understanding Ibn Ezra as follows: that Ibn Ezra is intending to follow the same line as that in the Medrash, in the Mechilta, Sha'amru Shokol Moshe ki Yisrael v'Yisrael k'Moshe, that the singling out of Moshe Rabbeinu is meant to say that Moshe Rabbeinu was equivalent to the whole of the Jewish people, and the Jewish people came into Moshe Rabbeinu, and that's why they're singled out. So there's two explanations. Either Moshe Rabbeinu is singled out because of the wonders that transpired with him alone, or it's to highlight the fact that the salvation comes as a result of both Moshe and the Jewish people. In other words, there's a tremendous chus, a merit that is generated by Moshe Rabbeinu himself. That's the second explanation. That's basically Ibn Ezra. And then he carries on and says, Hashem. He picks up again. It's a very, very small thing, but it's not a small thing, but it's a big thing. Why is there a change in the name of Hashem? You see that? The very Beautiful, beautiful idea. Look at the Ramban. Hizke Elokim mentions Hashem with the name Elokim. Hashem Shra Yisro Yodem Elefonim. Yisro was familiar with the name Elokim. Right, the name Elokim, which is, we know, is not what we call the Shem Ha'etzem, the specific name of Hashem. So Yisro knows this name Elokim. It can mean judges, hearing God, right? But he's familiar with this name, the Chihotzi Hashem, and that Hashem took out with what? B'Shmoi HaGodol, with his great name. Shanoda Atzo Alidei Moshe Shabo Nasa Osos. Right? He knew now through Moshe, Shabo, through it or through him, Nasa Ha'osos, the miracles and the signs transpired. I think it means through the name of Hashem himself. So in other words, the subtle shift in the name of Hashem is Yisro is beginning and saying, in other words, that's Yisro before he encounters and realizes what has transpired. Okay, he sees it from an outsider's perspective. He sees it as he's always seen it. It refers to Hashem as Elokim. He's learned and understood the essence of Yetzias Mitzrayim, which is conveyed through the identification of the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. That's how they've left. Do you understand? That's a transformation. I think Ramban is highlighting the transformation the Yisro himself has undergone. Right? I think that's how we can understand it. If you understand, he's shifted in his perspective. Okay, so if you go now to Pasuk Tes Vav. So the Ramban is when it says Ki Avoy Elai Elokim, sorry, Ha'om Lidrosh Elokim. when Yisro is very surprised and says to Moshe Rabbeinu, why on earth is this going on? Why are you doing this to the people? Why are you sitting alone and the people are standing above you the whole day? And Moshe Rabbeinu replies and says, because the people come to me to seek Hashem. And what do those words mean, to seek Hashem? And normally we just translate it we understand they're being judged. And that's one aspect of it. Rashi, in fact, says to learn. The Shol Talmud, to understand Piag Vura. The Ramban gives a few different explanations. Moshe Rabbeinu responded to his father-in-law as follows. Why are these people coming to me? What are they coming for? What are they looking for? They stand over me a large part of the day because they come in front of me for many things. You know why they come, he says? Because they want me to daven for those who are sick. They come to me and they give names for a Shalem. And to let them know, I think it means what they're lacking, what they're missing. Right? This is called seeking Hashem. They want guidance. And so he does with the Navi. He does with the Nevi'im. The Pasuk in the Navi says they used to go and say we should go and seek out the seer, the roya, right? So they need advice, guidance from those who are able to see, have a deeper perspective. I live from this illness. Another example in the Nevi'im of seeking Hashem for this purpose. And he's done for him and let him know his tefillah has been heard. As the Ramban explained, we learned that Ramban, I think, with Rivka, when they're fighting inside her. She went to seek Hashem. She needs guidance. Furthermore, I judge them. They come to me and I have to judge cases. So I teach them Torah. I make known to them the statutes of Hashem and His Torah. So I think the Ramban here it's good to see because he's explaining this concept of lidrosh Elokim. What does it mean to seek Hashem through getting the guidance from a great person, from an Adam Gadol? And the answer is because, and this has not changed. And the Ramban is identifying and highlighting something that has existed now. People from the very beginning, same thing today. People might go to a great person and say, a great Rav, and say, would you daven for someone who's unwell? Would you give me I need some guidance, or adjudicate on a case, whatever the situation is, or just to learn Torah. And this is what the Ramban is highlighting here. At the end of that first bit of the parasha, in Pasuk Chof Beis, it says, "V'gam kol ha'om hazeh al makomo yovei v'shalom." That these people will come to his place in peace. This is a very famous phrase because it's the last words with which we, if they accompany someone in their final journey, it's the words that are said as the person is placed in the kever after Me'ah V'esrim. This is what we say. Now, on this, the Ramban explains what these words mean. Just find it. Where is it? Yeah. So it's on the beginning part of the pasuk. Right? What does it mean? It will judge people all the time. While they have many judges, the one who is oppressed will go to the judge all the time. She gives him whenever he wants. He'll find the judge there. The whole point of Yisro's idea is they can't get close to you all the time. There's great numbers. You're so troubled and it's impossible. No one can approach you at the same time. And many of them, therefore, have to suffer the violence, the injustice that is done to them. Because they don't have the opportunity to tell you. They don't have time until they finish their work. They don't have time to come close to you. And by that time, it's too late. You understand? Because the thing they're suffering from, or the injustice, or someone's done something, or taken something, whatever, they stuck, right? He says, that's what it means when it says, each person will come to his place in peace. Because they can't draw near to judgment all the time, they can't rest in peace. Because the fact that they don't have the opportunity to approach you for justice, that's an entrance for thieves, la'asos chomas, to do violence, v'la oshkim, or robbery, v'la oshkim, la'asos meriva, and for oppressors to cause strife. The tam al makoma, what does it mean to come to his place? El kol mokem she'yavo shama, b'yosem b'machane b'midbar, whatever place they come to, they're in the camp in the desert. Okay, then we can leave the other part as a separate point. But the point the Ramban is saying is when he says v'gam kol hamazal makomo yavo shalom, is the presence of the justice and the presence and the ability and the access to those who are able to rescue them from their oppressors means they are able, wherever they are, al makomo, wherever their place is, wherever their individual place is, they encounter it in peace. Instead of going back to where their place is, right, and finding some injustice or someone's done something wrong or someone's stolen something, it's not been adjudicated on, right? Instead of that, they're able to arrive at their place in peace. That's the point. That is the message that Yisro, and that's the ultimate aim of the judicial system, that people feel secure. They feel secure. They don't feel threatened in the individual places. Right. The beginning of the Matan Torah, the Parashah Matan Torah, B'chodesh HaShlishi, the Ramban says on those words on the third month. Why doesn't it start? His question is, Torah should have really said they journeyed away from Refidim. They encamped in Midbar Sinai by Chodesh HaShlishi in the third month. Let's say Sol Me'eretz Mitzrayim, right? That's what it should have said. If you look at the way the Pesukim are structured, it's quite difficult to understand. First, it says in the third month after they came to Mitzrayim, they came to Midbar Sinai. Next pasuk, they journeyed from Refidim and they came to Midbar Sinai, right? Yeah, I mean Rashi asked this question as well, and Rashi says because just like they came to Midbar Sinai in Shuvah, so they journeyed from Refidim in Shuvah. That's Rashi's question, I think, as well. Why? We know they were in Refidim. Why? But Ramban is asking, why is it that the pasuk goes back afterwards? They came to Har Sinai, they came from Refidim, they got to Har Sinai. Why is this? How is this to be understood? And he says, so he says that's what he should have said. He says, you know why it's this way around? Because they had tremendous joy in coming to Midbar Sinai. The Yom Tov, and it was a Yom Tov. From the moment when they left Mitzrayim, they were desperate for it. This was the moment. This was everything they'd been waiting for. Yodu, they knew there they were going to receive the Torah. Moshe told them that which had been said to him. You will serve Hashem on this mountain. And they were aware of that. They knew that this was the place. Right? And he said, we will go 3 days and we will sacrifice to Hashem. That's the distance from Mitzrayim. Right? That's why it says on this very day, when the month began, that's when they came here. After that, and then it tells you their journey. So the emphasis is on this first pasuk is telling you they had tremendous simcha because they were achieving their objective. And that's why it starts this way, right? The next paragraph, the Ramban says, I'll just summarize outside what he's saying. In the next paragraph, he says, why does it say, Vayovo Midbar Sinai? They came to Midbar Sinai, and not that they encamped in Midbar Sinai. And he understands it, that it means as soon as they arrived at Midbar Sinai, they set up camp, right? They saw the mountain, and they said, this is where we're going to stay. Really, it would have been more logical to find a good place. Not every place in the desert is the same. Maybe find a sheltered location, find a place near an oasis, whatever it was. They didn't do that. They stayed in the midbar, right? Vayovo Midbar Sinai, okay? They encamped in the midbar or b'chorev. And he says chorev is the name of the place, the name of Har Sinai. Chorev also means desolation. Choruv, right? Means destroy, desolate, right? And that's why they did it because they encamped opposite the mountain because they were so excited about what they were going to do and why they were there. They didn't go and look for a nice place to camp. They stopped right there. He also says it could be that emphasizes that the Yisrael camped there because it's saying that the people who weren't directly part of the Bnei Yisrael, like the Erev Rav, they were separate, right? So they weren't like included in this encampment, right? So that's how he said. Different. Now What is the shofar? How does the Ramban understand the shofar? Paragud Tes, Posig Gimel. It's quite maybe Kabbalistic, esoteric, but let's see if we can understand a tiny bit of it. The Ramban says, so first he brings Rashi, and Rashi famously brings the Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, who says, "V'mashoch hayovel heimel yalu v'har." You see that Posig Gimel? What is V'mashoch hayovel? It is a shofar shel ayil. It's a ram's horn, and the shofar is Elo shel Yitzchak. It's the ram of Yitzchak. Yeah. Yitzas posuk. Yes, end. B'mashoch hayovel. B'mashoch hayovel, which is the shofar, right? So when they blow the shofar, then you got the mountain, right? Mashoch hayovel, right? So the Rashi says, what is Mashoch hayovel? The blowing of the horn. What shofar? Of Yitzchak Elo shel Yitzchak. V'lo yavinosi zes, it's the Ramban. I don't understand this because ki Elo shel Yitzchak ola hikrivoso. It was a burnt offering. V'hakarnayim atalofayim akol nisraf ba'olos. Everything is burnt with the ola. The Ramban is understanding literally. Literally the shofar shel Yitzchak, or the Elo shel Ram, it was all burnt. Everything was burnt up. There isn't a horn left. There isn't a shofar. So he says, Ulai goval hakadosh baruch hu ofa karna v'chziro l'masha hoya. Maybe Hashem molded together the dust of the horn of the Keren and reconstructed it into a shofar. That's what he says. Avalafi daiti, but according to my thinking, it's very short words, but very cryptic. This agadata, this connection to the shofar of Yitzchak, has a deep secret. And they said, Jazar Kol, hu pachad Yitzchak, that this sound of the shofar is the pachad Yitzchak. It's what we refer to in Sefer Bereshis as the fear of Yitzchak. It's associated with that essence of what Yitzchak is. The people trembled. And they didn't attain a speech in this greatness, this sense of charoda, of trepidation, of trembling. All they heard was a koil, a sound, and that is the sound. That's what the pasuk in Dvarim says, right? But you never saw in Koltman Zulasi koil. All you saw was a sound. Was a sound. So what the Ramban I think is trying to say here is that, and again, as I said, it's quite deep and esoteric. It seems to be saying that the reference to the shofar is the koil itself. It's the sound. And what was that sound? It's the sense of charoda, of trembling, of understanding the presence of Hashem, maybe the concept of yiras Hashem or deeper. Whatever. That's he says that's the reference to the shofar of Yitzchak. Oh, well, there you are. This is where you'd have to understand it on a deeper level. There is no real simple explanation. Look, the reference in the Bereshis to Pachad Yitzchak, right, is the like the Yiras Hashem, right? It's the fear, Yitzchak's fear. It's the one whom Yitzchak feared, Hashem, right? No, it's the one whom Yitzchak feared. So then you have to ask, what is it about Yitzchak specifically, right? That the word Pachad Yitzchak, it's used a few times, or Fachad or Viv Yitzchak, right? So why is that specific there? So you'd have to go into that in more detail. But the link the Ramban is making, Rashi makes the link with the shofar, and the Ramban says, no, it's the Yira. It's the Yira of Yitzchak, and that's the association. It's that Pachad, and that's the sound that they heard. Again, as like I said, I'm saying we understand, just really scratching the surface of what the Ramban is trying to connect here for us. Let's briefly see a little bit on the Aseret HaDibros themselves. The Ramban says, Perek Chof Pasuk Beis on Anochi Hashem Elokecha. A dibur azeh, he says, this dibur, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, mitzvahs aseh. It's a positive mitzvah. Oma Anochi Hashem, I am Hashem. Yorev Yitzava Osom, to teach and command them, sheyedu, which means us, sheyedu v'yaminu ki yesh Hashem. They should believe in the existence of Hashem. V'hu Elokim lahem, and that He is God to them. Kloma, that means, what does it mean Elokim in this sense? Elokim means, it means hova, present, kadmoin, that means preceding all, right? First, with a capital F. He brought everything into existence. Hashem brings everything into existence and has the ultimate capability to do anything. And he is a God for them. What does that mean? That they're obligated to serve him. And then it says, I took you out of Eretz Mitzrayim. Because the very exodus, the leaving of Mitzrayim, Torah, it shows, it demonstrates ala metzius, on the existence of al hachefetz. And I think that means the will. In other words, the fact that Hashem can will anything to happen, right? And it will happen, right? Yeah? Literally desire. Because we left Egypt through Hashem's direct knowledge and involvement in us, which is critical. You know, there's two key points. Ramban is building here the key elements of belief. Belief in the existence of Hashem and belief in that he involves himself in this world. That's Hashem, right? That's hashkacha, right? That's direct involvement in our lives. The Gam Torah ala chidush. And it also demonstrates on the fact that things in creation can change and there can be renewal, chidush. Ki im kadmus ha'olam le'ishtana dava mitzivah. Because with the kadmus ha'olam means the sense of, which was prevalent certainly in the time of the Ramban and Greek philosophy as well, the idea of the world having always existed. Called kadmus ha'olam. You know, the fact the world was for the universe was forever in existence, was always here and unchanging. With that, nothing will change. Le'ishtana dava mitzivah. Nothing ever changes from its nature. Okay? And of course, the fact that, so therefore the introduction of Yitzias Mitzrayim demonstrates, Ramban says at the end of Parshas Bo as well, demonstrates on the fact that there's a creator, and that creator involves himself in this world, and things change because Hashem wishes them to change. The Torah also demonstrates ala yecholos, on the ability. By yecholos, that means to say, I think it means ability as in the ability of Hashem to change and do anything. By yecholos Torah ala yichud, and that very ability to do and change anything itself shows and teaches. You understand? He's using the word Torah here as in teaching. Yeah, Torah. Yeah, ala yichud, on the singularity of Hashem. As we see in Parshas Va'era, that the Torah says, "You shall know there is nothing and no one like me in the land." And by the way, it's so critical, that essence of Yitzias Mitzrayim, that Hashem is in complete control. If you look through Parshas Va'era, if you don't realize this, look through Parshas Va'era and see where every one of the aliyahs are. Have you noticed that? There's sometimes they seem unusual places. We stop in the middle of the Makkah of Tzfardeya. It's much more logical to stop in the middle. Yeah, you never noticed this? You never noticed this? Soon as I tell you, you'll notice it. Look. You look through Parshas Va'era. This is exactly what he's bringing out here. You look at Parshas Va'era. Once you get into the Makkahs, you will see. Yeah, you've got the Sfor in there, right? You've got it there. Right? A few things. Right after the beginning part, which is the Yichus Moshe Rabbeinu, right? So you get into the Makkahs, right? Revi. So after Revi, okay? Look where it stops. Chamishi, yeah. Oh, right. What does it say? It's in the middle of the Makkah Tzfardeim. Why? Look at the end of Chamish. Look at Shishi. Leman Teda ki ani Hashem ekeref haaretz. So that you shall know that I am Hashem in the middle of the world, middle of the land. It's amazing. Can you see? It's so. Uleman saper shmi b'chol haaretz, before Shavi. So you shall teach my name throughout the land. When you see it, you see it's obvious, right? All the aliyahs, right, throughout the Makkah are positioned not in logical places, as in between the Makkahs, right? We stop at that moment because that is everything about the Makkahs, so that you shall know that I am in control. That's what it is. That is the essence of what the Makkahs are. You just got to remember that for next year, Parshas Va'era. So that's what he says here. And this is the reason for Asher Tzisicha, I've taken you out. Because I took you out, Hashem says, You are the ones who know this, and you are the witnesses. Okay, and that's what it means. And that's why it's this pasuk is everything about emunah. It contains within it everything. Belief in Yichud Hashem, belief in Hashem's control and Hashem guiding the whole of history. Hashgach, the whole thing, everything is there. Hashem says, I took you out. You have this knowledge because you experienced it. And therefore, that's why you're able to teach others about the truth of it. So this is the Ramban. If you just briefly look at the Ramban on Posuk Yud Aleph, which is Kabed Savicho Vesimecho. Sorry, Yud Beis. Hine Hishlim Kol Mash Anu Chayovin, he says, B'divrei Abori Ba'atzim V'chvoido. The first four, we finish all of those things. We're obligated in the words, in the matters relating to Hashem Himself. The Chazal Tzavos Son Binyoni HaNivroim, and therefore from Kibbutz Avoim we begin with elements that are related, the mitzvahs and the service that are related to the creations, Nivroim. The Hischel Av begins with the father, Kabed Savicha, Shulu Toldosov, Kinyan Bore, Mishtatef B'Yitzira, because it's a parallel, so to speak, with Kaviochel Hashem Himself. Because in the fact there's a partnership in creation. Ki Hashem Ovinu Orishon, V'Amolid Ovinu Acharon. Hashem is our ultimate original father with the capital F, and our father is, and our literal father is also is Ovinu Acharon, the later father. So it's in Mishnah Torah it says, just like I commanded you in my honor, in honoring me, it says kasher tzivisicha. I think it says that, as I commanded you. I think that's the addition in the Aseret Dibros in Parshas Vayischanan. I think. Romy, do you name Vayischanan as well? No, just Yisro. Well, but I think it adds there kasher tziv kasher v'lekecha. It says that, I think, with Kibbutz Avayim. There's a few differences between the Aseret Dibros, right? And so it says that, as I commanded you. What is it I commanded you? Just like I commanded you to honor me, so too you have to honor your parents. But a Pirush HaKosav HaKovod, Torah doesn't explain the pasuk what this Kibbutz Avoim is. Why not? You want to understand what it means to honor your parents? You have to look at the first four of the Aseret Dibros. Number one, admit that he's your father. Don't say someone else is your father. Just because he wants the inheritance. Don't help him because he wants the inheritance. Or some other benefits. Don't bear his father's name and swear by the life of his father falsely. Okay, of course, other things are also included. We're commanded in his honor in every respect, and it's explained in Kiddushin, and that's how it is. The essence is that the kavod and the honor that we are due, that we need to honor our parents, that is compared to the kavod that we are due to Lahavdil kavod to Hashem Himself, and that's Ramban. So much more to see, but there is a few ideas for this field. Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks, Joe. Thank you.